Hey everyone, Nitro here. So in this video I just wanted to show how to play Orks in the early game. I know a lot of people have been struggling with Orks because their starting units are all melee, so they're also very easy to kill. So basically I'm just going to start up a game and play around the first 20 to 30 turns just to show how you start off with Orks. So you can see in the settings that I'm just going to start on the medium map with high land mass, and of course the wildlife density will be set to very high. So let's just get started. So when playing Orks, especially in the early game, you have to be pretty conservative with their units, which are the boyz, because they have a ridiculous amount of damage. They're the only starting unit that can actually one-shot hounds if you get a bit lucky. But at the same time, these units are incredibly vulnerable because they only have 2 armor and 18 hit points, so they're really easy to kill. So it is a bit of a struggle, but with a bit of practice you'll figure them out pretty quickly. So yeah, I'm just going to get started here, and the very first thing is I have a really terrible starting position. That's the very first thing to say. I'm in a forest and there's some wireweed here which is completely blocking me from really moving out. So this first turn I'm just going to move the boys up 1 step, move these guys up a bit, and I think since you really do have to settle on the first turn, I'm going to build the city here, which gives a decent boost with plus 10% food and 20% to energy. And because that only has 2 construction tiles, I am gonna have to capture another tile right from turn 1. And in this case it doesn't particularly matter which tile I capture, but I'm just gonna grab this one. Next I am going to have to move the last boys up, so you can see that there's 2 Crute Hounds right there. And my first technology that I'm going to research is the commando camp, so I can get a war boss out as soon as I possibly can. I'm going to clear that and end the turn. And I saw that one of the Crute Hounds moved right here, so if I take this, I'll be able to attack that Crute Hound as well, which is what I'm going to do. So I'll have the boys attack it, and I wasn't that lucky. I only barely managed. Oh, sorry. I wasn't lucky enough to kill him in 1 shot, but you can see that it's really down to 4 health from 14. So I'm just going to finish it off with the other boys, and this boys I am going to move up 1 step so that he can support them. So with the boys you really have to keep the 3 of them together so that they can support each other. If they split off, they're just very easy to pick off. So let's go to the next turn. So you can see he's gonna get attacked, and he lost 8 hit points from a Crute Hound. So I'm going to support him with the back boys and attack that. Next I want to scout out this, I can see that there's the lining which indicates that there's a resource there. So to scout it out I'm going to move this boys 1 step forward, finish off this Crute Hound, and then that way I can move the other boys to grab this. And while grabbing this I also found some orcoid fungus, which is great for healing the boys. So next I'm gonna have to decide what to build here, and given the situation, let's see, I have this gives me 1 ore and 1 energy, this gives me 2 influence, and I'm planning to rush for the commando camp, so I'm not going to build a barracks. Given that's the case, I will start with one of these ore buildings for plus 6 ore here, and clear the notifications and end turn. So the Crute Hound didn't do anything, which means I can kill it with 2 boys attacks. And one of the big advantages of early game that you must use with the boys is their ability to use Here We Go to increase their movement by 1. So you can see that I'm 1 tile away from attacking this Crute Hound, but if I use Here We Go for the extra movement, I can get into range to attack it. So this boys will attack it. I'm going to move this one up to scout to make sure this location is safe. These are flyers, so they can fly over and attack if I move this boys over. So rather than getting him into the fungus, I'm just gonna put him in the forest to attack and finish that Crit Hound off. So with that ends this turn. Oh, so that guy ran away, so that gives me the opportunity to bring this boys either onto one of these fungus or into an encampment to heal up. And I'm just going to scout out a bit with the healthy boys. In this case, because it is 8 hit points, I'm going to move him into the encampment to heal. That should take 2 or 3 turns to fully heal up, which is faster than healing one additional hit point on fungus. So I'm going to hold position until healed for this boys, and use these two to scout out a bit to see where I should go next. And I didn't find anything this turn, but it ends this turn. So you can see that they healed 3.8 hit points, so it means next turn they should be back to full health. Again, I'll heal again. Let's see. So I'm going to move this boys over here first. And there we go, we found the Crit Hound. Another one. So I'm going to attack it with the first boys, and finish it with the second one. Again, with when using the boys in scouting, you want to be conservative. If you can, stay one space away from where you can see. That way, your boys have a higher chance of escaping if they run into something really, really dangerous. And the construction here is complete, and my research completed as well. So I'm going to build a commando camp now on in the open slot that I have. For the next research, I really don't use any of their Cult of Speed units, so I am just going to research more Daka, because it will have a use later on once I build my barracks. So with that ends my turn. And as Crit Hound moved up in towards that. Yep, so these boys are fully healed, and I'm going to march them forward. Oh, one thing that everyone should be aware of is these boys have free movement, and moving into forest and river tiles costs 2 movement. However, if you use 2 movement, such as moving through here, 1 and 2, even though this costs 2 movement to normally move through, if you have 1 movement point left, you can still step right onto it. So, but if I increase my movement to 4, it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, and I would be stuck on this tile anyways. So the only way for me to get to, let's say, here would be if I had 5 movement points, not 4. So just an interesting note of the way their movement system was designed. That you have, as long as you have 1 movement point, you can move into a tile that requires 2 movement points. In any case, I'm just going to move into that forest there. This Crit Hound I am going to kill. So I'm going to attack him with 1 boys, and use the second one to finish it off. And end turn. And another Crit Hound stepped in to place. Oh. So he did quite a number on this guy, but that's fine, because I'll attack with this first one, finish it off with the damaged boys, and just move him to support. I'm going to clear the notification and end my turn. So 9 turns passed so far, 10 turns now. All 3 of my boys are still alive. I haven't explored very much, but I have killed a lot of Crit Hounds. And fighting and killing is very important for Orks, because the Orks have a benefit where if they kill a unit, they get 2 ore. And if they fight, if they attack, they get 4 influence. So you really want these boys to be constantly fighting in the early game so that you can get these free resources. So let's getting back into the game, move these boys forward. He scouted out a bit, so I am going to move 2 steps up in this case, and I didn't really find much, unfortunately. But at this point, I think I need to go in a different direction. There's just so much water here that I think I have to go north to find exit from this area. So let's just start shifting all my units back at this point. It's really not worth exploring this tiny, the remaining few tiles in this corner here, since I'm starting in the bottom right. So, next turn. Alright, given the situation that I have a pretty far distance to march, I am going to use their Here We Go ability. Oops, I should have counted. I used it, but it didn't give me any additional movement. Okay, but so I should have saved it for the following turn. But here, if I use it, it should give me an extra tile of movement, which it did. And because this guy needs healing, it's best to move him into the city to heal, rather than into the outpost, because that's the direction I'm going into. So let's use Here We Go. Again, I forgot to count tiles. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. I needed 5 movement to get into there. So, well, I'm forced to move into the outpost instead then. Yeah, so yeah, it's very, very important to count the number of movement points you need to move into certain tiles, especially with the Here We Go ability that the Orks have. Used properly, it can get you an extra tile of movement, which can let you attack things, but used improperly, you just waste it, and then you have a 4-turn cooldown, or 5-turn cooldown rather. So, let's go to the next turn. So the Mordak attack is finished, and now I have to pick my next research. And I usually start with the mech pits yard so that I can quickly expand, and following it up with the weird boys because I have the commando camp to train heroes. So let's just do mech pits yard so I can start expanding and creating new cities. And in this, they're both both going to be stuck at the river. Okay, so that's all I can do. And I will hold position and heal this guy to bring him back to full health. Alright. So the commando camp finished, so let's begin production of the war boss. And in the city, I have to grab a tile. So let's see, they're all minus food, but I don't plan on building food buildings on these tiles. Or do I? Ooh, with 29 food, I do have to build a food tile, so I'm going to capture this, which doesn't have any negative bonuses. Alright. So yes, my next construction building will be for food, so that I don't go into negative. And with this, boys, he's going to start scouting up. This one needs one more turn to fully heal up, and I'm just gonna move it because they all got stuck on the river tile. So let's end the turn. Alright, so the next turn is up. Let's move this boys up. Let our Recruit Hound to attack. He will move up as well, and this guy's fully healed, so he'll move into the river tile. And in the city, I'm going to do what I said, which is build a farm here. Clear the notification and turn. Alright. So, again, move up. Ooh, now that's a little bit of a decision. Do I kill that guy, or do I attack? Yeah, I'm going to kill this crown and then just leave that alive, because it's more important to protect the damaged one. And then this guy will probably just run away. So let's go to the next turn. So by turn 16, all 3 orc boys are still alive, and I will soon have the war boss, which will really make it much easier to explore the map. Wire reeds, Wow! I've never had a map where I have no choice but to step through 2 wire reeds and take 10 damage to get through. Well, this just flat out sucks. Wow. Okay. Yeah, I just have a very, very bad map this game. So I'm just gonna move them up a bit. Oh, Recruit Hound charged in, so it meant he took quite a bit of damage. And I just have to hope that the Amble will charge in as well. heal him. I'm going to set a waypoint here so that my war boss will spawn and just move to this tile instead of appearing here, and then I can only move him 2 tiles up. And I'm not gonna move into the wire reeds. It's just you can't do that with boyz. Okay, so I'm just gonna heal him and have him stand there, and that's it. End turn. Unless he charges me, I'm basically stuck in this corner here. It's just terrible. Alright, so my war boss is up, and I am going to give him the attack squid ability to start off with, as well as continue to heal this boyz. And in my city, I will 3 turns until the mech bit camp is complete, which means I can construct another building in the meantime. And I think I have a good amount of ore. I have a decent, let's see. Yes, I'm going to build a food building here, just to increase my food income, so that I can continue to train things. Is that the right? No, sorry, no. At this point, I'm going to construct a Palapdaka so I can start training infantry units in 6 turns. No, wait. I think I'm really confusing myself here. I only have 3 turns until the mech bits, but I only have 1 empty slot. Sorry. Yeah, because I only have 1 empty slot, I can't afford to construct a building here, because then it'll delay my mech bits yard even further. So all I can really do is either clear a tile or acquire a new tile. And in this case, because I am going to acquire a new tile, my plan is to build a city on these wire reeds and then clear this area so I can march through it. So that's what I'm going to do. Acquire this tile here and end my turn. Alright. So unfortunately, I'm basically stuck waiting in this game. But at this point, it's turn 20. I have a war boss out, and I have all 3 of my boys alive, and they're all full hit points. Normally, it would be I would send the war boss in first and follow with boyz to so that the war boss tanks hits, and then the boyz provide support and damage. But because I can't move anywhere at this point, I'm just going to end this video. So you can basically see how I played out the first 20 turns by being very conservative with my boys and making sure that they're always attacking the enemy units by using Here We Go to give them the extra movement. If you have any questions, or if you want me to do a second video of this, please leave some comments in the comment section below. Thanks for watching, guys.